Alright, so taking a break from the wide body because I'm still undecided about how I want to do the front. I've come up with another potential concept for it, where the idea is I still do so I've got two potential new ideas. One, all of them flare out everything to 2 inches no matter what, so no matter what I'm gonna have the 2-inch part coming out. So doing the whole bell out from there where this ends up being 2 inches out. Plan one is to do the whole thing but stop here like I was talking about originally, but so it'll kind of taper out here, kind of creating this triangular piece here with the lip, leaving the bumper as is and making new canards that actually, because I got to extend the splitter up anyway, so the splitter will come out and then I'll have basically kind of like a channel that'll come up and just kind of dead end on this part that's going to be sticking out, creating like this tunnel with the canard design kind of integrated into that tunnel. The second one is that same concept, but instead of bringing this piece out so it becomes a cone shape, leaving it where it is. So basically this whole thing will taper out like this, stay in here, and then doing that same thing, but then you'll end up like this kind of open section on the canard, but instead of bringing it all the way up, I'll just kind of leave it like this here. I'll just make a bigger canard. So I'm still not 100% settled on that. The rear is pretty much what it is. The whole thing's just gonna taper out with the large sweep off of the door, the back part of the door, and becoming just the whole bell out on the tail. There's another guy, another Viper owner, who actually was the inspiration for some other stuff that I'm going to be doing to the car, but he's doing a wide body in another one of his cars where he's actually taking the whole rear and bringing it out a full 2 inches and then actually shaping the door itself out to go out to, which is like a lot cooler in my opinion, but a lot more work, because that means you have to fill in that whole 2-inch section at the top, but at least then you don't have to fight your gas cap, because the gas cap will be right where it is because you're bringing the whole thing out and then you're just bringing the door in. So it's probably just about the same amount of work, but his will definitely be a little more unique because mine's closer to what the A10 is. But I'm still not 100% set on this because I don't want to completely redo the front bumper after I've already redone the front bumper, but I kind of like the idea of playing with the arrow, filling in the void and leaving the bumper as is. I have some 3D stuff I've been playing with it. I'll throw some pictures in here. So what we're going to do instead is last year I bought this guy. It's the WOTBox. I had put it in the car around May or June, but I never actually finished it. So there's actually, I had a local photographer take pictures of the car. You can actually see the zip tie that I had on the edge of the dash that was holding the WOTBox just kind of dangling there because I've not finalized where I want to put it at. So wanted to work on it, got it in. You see the wires been sitting right there for almost a year now. I pretty much knew what needed to be done, but I didn't come up with a complete game plan until last night. I actually talked to Havoc Performance. They're out of Pennsylvania, I believe. They were nice enough to, I'm pretty sure it's Mike, was the one that was talking to me. I'm not positive of that, but I don't know if he's the one who holds the account. But anyways, I was talking to them about the way I think it needs to be done, because the makers of, so I guess N2MB is the company that makes the WOTBox. Before I'd ever bought it, I'd asked them if it works with my car. They said it did. I said, okay, can I make sure to get some instructions for my car? And they said, oh yeah, we'll include them. So I ordered it. Didn't come with any instructions. So I messaged them about it, and they basically sent me the generic instructions for what it needs to do, which is pretty straightforward. You need throttle position sensor, you need a clutch switch, which in my model you have to add. They did let me know which clutch switch to order. you need power, you need ground, and then you have to break the coils, because that's how the two-step portion works. Is it basically kills the spark, causing the RPMs to fall because there's no more movement, and then just lets it come through as the revs fall below the rev limiter that you set. My car has 2 coil packs. You got a 6-pack and a 4-pack, which the way those are set up is you've got I'll do a little diagram. You've got 6 spark plugs on one, 4 on the other, and the way that that's set up is the ECM, or the PCM, because it's powertrain control module. The PCM supplies 5 driver signals, and that's because the way that the cylinders alternate, it's able to just fire the 2 off of the 1 signal. So that means I got 2 separate leads that come in and plug into the 2 separate coils. So in order to be able to kill the coils, I got to be able to have whatever source power comes in to feed those 2 coils. Problem with that is what feeds the coils is the same thing that feeds the injectors, and I think the old hydraulic coolant fan was also on that. It's called the auto shutdown relay, which, if I am right, is this guy right here. So basically the way it goes is when the car knows that it needs to kill power, which is like either it's not getting the crank position sensor, or there's some kind of issue that it knows it's not supposed to run. And I also think when you turn off the key, it kills that relay, which shuts down the fuel injectors and shuts down the spark plug, so the car just shuts off. So the only way to do this is to either logically you tap into the 2 separate coils. Problem is the WOTBox only has 1 ignition in and out. So you can either do this by creating 1 power source that goes to both coils, which is probably what I'm gonna do. So what I'm gonna probably end up doing is I'm gonna tap into the harness, and I'm gonna pull the plugs. This is my game plan. I'm not positive this is what's gonna happen, but basically I want to pull the connectors off of the coils, pull it out, tap off of my ADS signal coming from the PCM, and then create my ignition in through the WOTBox, ignition out, and then tap that back into the harnesses, back into the connectors that go back into the coils, and that'll be that. That's the game plan. Hand down on there. Alright, awesome. Some temporary wire routing just to kind of get in place, and then from there, after everything's hooked up, I can run some sheathing. Alright, beautiful. Okay. Alright, that was the easy one. Yep, okay. Beautiful. Yay. Alright, so by that logic, the car should start again. Yeah, that's gas. Nope, it's because half of my spark plugs weren't firing.
Really?
Yeah. So I got a bad connection somewhere. So as you could tell from the end of that video, it was kind of dark, so we went ahead and called it a night. It's been several days later, and now I'm finally getting the chance to jump back into it. For the most part, all that's really left is to tie in the clutch switch and jump off of the crank position sensor timing, which I've already got the connector in, popped off. I just got to tie into it. Most of this is currently set up mock-up for right now, just so I can make sure all the wiring's right, and then I'm gonna come back in and do actual proper soldering with shrink sleeves and tubing around the wires and cleaning it all up, zip ties and everything. But hopefully by the end of this, we'll have a functioning two-step. two-step working, but I still gotta get the clutch switch actually installed in the proper place. I was actually holding it for that, which, you know, kind of how like a rolling two-step would work. This locks you at a certain RPM for launch control. So yeah, I just gotta tidy everything up, get that in, and then we're done.